Update. I'm dying and I have to tell my kids. Well, I'd like to start out and say thank you so much for all of your support, it means a lot. I've gotten DMs for an update and unfortunately it's not a good one. Last week they found a tumor in my brain and I now have 2 months at most. I don't know how they could have missed it. The only reason we went to check it out was I was having the worst headaches of my life. My husband is still on about my God not being merciful. He has refused to go to church. My friend has been taking the kids to church. I do online worship. But on the bright side, we have a new dog. She's a hairless poodle who is a year old. She lost her old family in the fire and we thought we would adopt her. This was before I was given the original diagnosis. As to whether or not her fur will come back, I'm not sure, but she's like a service dog to our old dog. She keeps her from walking into things and gives her cuddles when my daughter isn't holding her. My kids are finally spending time with me. We've been watching Power Rangers for the past week. But I have had to step away more than once because of my headaches. My husband is still holding out for a cure. He stopped going to his mom to cry and just stays with me now since he wants to spend as much time as possible with me. We've also decided I shouldn't be driving in this state, so I will no longer be driving. We decided when he's old enough, our oldest should get the car since it's only a 2014 model. Until then I'm not sure what my husband will be doing with it, but he said he doesn't want to get rid of it. Someone suggested as a last vacation I should go with my family to a cabin in the woods, and I think that's a stellar idea. Before we're reliant on hospice. I'm on it now. They give me medication for my pain and send different doctors and even a priest. They're very nice, they don't mind being sprayed down and they offer to sit and talk for a little bit sometimes. I just can't believe any of this is happening. Last month we were talking about when I get better. We had a list of places we were going to go, things I could do again, but now I can't. My husband said he will take the kids on a tour of my I'm better places when the world opens up again. We also bought grave plots, one for me, my husband and my friend. She's been amazing the past 7 years, taking care of my children, cooking dinners, cleaning the house, helping with homework, sports, music lessons. We decided that if she wanted to be buried with us she can, and she cried and said yes. I know God will take care of me when I go and he will take care of my husband, children and friend when I'm gone. Some of you suggested that my husband and my friend were sleeping together. Even if they were, we have an open marriage on his side because when I got sick I couldn't be intimate with him and I told him he has needs and he can fulfill them and I won't be mad. So I don't really care one way or another. As for my dad, he and his wife got bailed out. But it's understood if they come near my family again, they will get hurt. My father is also coming over. We met on 23andMe. He never knew he had children as the fling with my mom was a drunken one-night stand, and he said he honestly didn't even know he'd slept with someone that night, to show how drunk he was. He's from Scotland and has to quarantine when he gets over, but he said he plans on moving over here to be with his grandchildren and son, as he says my husband is his son. He says we didn't get enough time together, and had he known who I was and that I was abused by my dad so much, he would have taken me to Scotland, but then I wouldn't have my husband. He's devastated by the news of my illness taking a turn for the worst, as he's lost his own mother and sister to cancer as well. Turns out it runs on his side of the family. All in all, I am doing as well as I can be. And to those of you who offered to send me presents, please donate to your local charity. If you were offering to make me something, make it for your local children's hospital, as they would love the blanket, stuffed animal or drawings you have to make. I don't feel comfortable accepting anything, and I don't want to accept something and get sick from COVID, even if you weren't sending it maliciously. I'm sorry this update is not the best, but remember God has a plan for us all. God bless you all and I hope you have a great day. Edit. This is an update, but my oldest is 12 male, my second is 10 male and my twins are 8 meters and F. They were mad at me and I still think they are. They're really scared is what I think. Hopefully there is a random miracle, but it was originally lung cancer and it went into my major organs. It's pretty much everywhere you can think. When I was pregnant with the twins I felt awful, but I thought it was because I was pregnant with twins. It didn't get any better after they were born and I collapsed after 6 months, and that's when they told me I had stage 3 lung cancer. I was crying and in shock, but my husband was immediately discussing treatment plans and what to do from there. I've had this disease for the past 8 years and I guess it's finally overwhelming me. I wish I had more time, but maybe there's a reason God chose me. I wouldn't change a thing if I could, as getting treatment when I first felt off would have meant killing the twins and I would never be capable of doing that. Edit 2. We're trying to pull the kids out of school completely and re-enroll them after I die. We figured they could make up whatever work they've missed in the summer. Is that legal? Should they have a sense of normalcy in this craziness? They've all said they can be homeschooled, but they're also willing to not go at all. On the one hand, they might never forgive themselves if they spent time they could have been spending with me. I'm school, but on the other, they might get overwhelmed with the stress of it all. I was crying while reading this. It's sad and weird to think you'll be gone and I don't even know you. You sound like a great person. Your family sounds great too. I also don't think your husband would be out there having sex with other women knowing the love of his life isn't doing well. I'm sorry you have to go through this. How old are your kids? When will you tell them? I don't usually pray, but I will keep you in my thoughts and pray for you. I hope a miracle happens and this is all gone. You know how some people have those really random miracles that even doctors can't explain? I hope you're one of them. Heart. I remember when my mother died as well. In some ways you are at the strongest moment of your life. Your last words might shape the future of your loved ones, depending on what you say. Give them courage, give them love, and give them motivation. Some people never know when they will pass away, but you know, and that is a small gift in itself. Use that silver lining to its fullest extent. This got me in tears even though I don't even know you. You asked for advice on school for your kids. Pull them out. Do homeschooling, but don't press them too hard for it. Spend the quality time with them. Let them spend time with their friends after school, still, but honestly. They will never get this time with you back, and summer school absolutely exists. Good luck to you and your family. It sounds like you have a pretty clear path ahead, even if it's not the one anyone would like. Okay, about the car. Make sure hubby knows to take it for a drive once a month. Sitting cars deteriorate very quickly. As for you, it's a shame like-minded folks have to go. The planet needs more folks like you, many more. Sure, looks like you've made good plans now that your work here is just about finished. Even better that you don't feel sorry for yourself. I'm in the same situation but a different disease. My ultimate life expectancy was 70, and considered very unlikely. I'm 72, so you never know. Never give up. All anyone is given is time. What we do with it is up to us. I hope to see you on the other side. Wear something nice. I sobbed reading your original post and I'm trying really hard not to lose it at work. Bless you and your family. Know your children's anger isn't really anger. Just emotions they're having a hard time processing. Anger is often the quickest and easiest response when we're unsure of something. I'm not too religious myself, but I'm praying for you and your family. God bless your soul. I'm so sorry. I wish I knew what else to say. I hope your family will be okay in time. I hope somehow you and your family meet again. I wish you and your family the best. Husband and I worked together. He got fired and expects me to quit. Hey guys, I need some advice. DH and I worked together in a startup warehousing company. This whole thing has been building up for a while. They like me and listen to me, but not so much on DH's part. If he says we need to be doing X, they say sure and disregard him. If I say the exact same thing, they praise me for thinking of it and do it that way. I always pushed for them to listen to him, and that if they praise the idea he originally had, I tell them he thought of it. Well, DH told them we shouldn't take this new client on due to us not having the proper forklift attachment. They ignore him and take it anyways. Due to us not having a properly functioning attachment, DH ends up getting his finger smashed. Workman's comp comes into play and it gets taken care of, but DH has animosity now about them not listening and him ending up hurt because of it. Today was the culmination of these past couple weeks of resentment. Owner goes off on him, yelling and all that. He gets pissed and says he quits, walks out. They calm down a bit before he actually leaves and they tell him to take lunch, come back, and they'll all talk it out. He goes on lunch, comes back, he helps unload a truck, talks with the boss lady, explains his side and they fire him. Said that him going off was unacceptable even though she had started going off first. DH expects me to walk out in solidarity. But I don't want both of our incomes to just stop. Yeah, we both have experience, but it still might be a week or so before we get good replacement jobs. I told him I would be putting in applications for other places and that I demanded a raise if they wanted me to stay. He said even if I only stay for the money that I'm betraying him and taking their side. I told him I'm thinking of our future so that we won't go without while I'm looking for something else. What should I do? Just quit and risk us not being financially secure for a while, or stay while looking for a new job? Update. We talked. After a lot of back and forth, he says he understands where I'm coming from but can't help feel hurt by not walking out with him. That it doesn't even matter if I stay or go now. The fact I didn't stand with him broke his heart. But then later he told me he appreciates that I had a level head and don't make rash decisions because he knows he can be rash sometimes, but that he just can't get over how hurt he is. Now he's barely speaking to me. When I ask him a question he replies with a exasperated, annoyed one-word answer. He wants me to not go back in the morning. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Update 2. To clarify, the boss that asked for a loan is not the same boss as now. That company packed up and went back to Cali. The owner of the warehouse they were leasing picked up the clients they were leaving and started their own business, ran by 2 ladies. A friend of ours swung by later and I guess that pulled him out of not talking to me. After our friend left we continued to talk. We walked through our finances, short on remaining income, heavy on bills, and if we didn't get jobs for the next 3 weeks we would be okay. The hardest thing I'm coming to terms with is that I liked that job. I was good at what I did and truly enjoyed it. Which is a first for me in my entire working life. Yeah, I can find a new, better job. But that doesn't erase all the hard work, effort, and dedication I had to making that business succeed. I'm angry this happened. I'm hurt they made the decisions they did which left me with pretty much no choice. They brought this on themselves but I'm mourning. Mourning what could have been if they had just listened to him. Angry that he couldn't keep calm and that gave them a reason to fire him. Hurt that I did nothing wrong but still feel like I'm getting the shitty end of the stick. Maybe that makes me a shitty wife, IDK. I'm not happy. But I stood by him. Looking through your post history, it's really sad. Normally I'd say to keep working until you have a new job. But your boss pressuring you to loan him $1,400 is really suspect since there is already a power imbalance there. I'd try and get out of that place as quickly as possible, but not leave until you've secured employment elsewhere. What kind of shape are your finances in? Could you survive a month without any income? 3 months? It sounds like a pretty bad job, and they treated him really badly, so I don't think him wanting you to walk out in solidarity is all that unreasonable. But if you aren't in a great financial position it's still a bad idea. Maybe you can compromise with him, you keep working there until he finds a new job, then you quit and start looking for another job yourself. I think seriously looking for employment elsewhere is showing solidarity and he should appreciate that. Him being fired allows for unemployment at least, where you quitting would not. He needs an attorney. He got hurt on their forklift after telling them there was a problem? You should keep your job and he should hire an attorney. Don't quit, but look for a new job, possibly with a competitor and higher pay. Depending on your field, now is a good time to look for jobs. A lot of companies are hiring at higher pay and better benefits. If you don't quit, there could be some lingering resentment. It's mildly childish, but he could see it as siding with someone who caused him physical harm. Wow. I don't disagree with everyone else that the best course of action would be to apply for other jobs, remain employed until you find something better, and then leave. But looking through your post history just made me sad. Like really sad. It paints a really disturbing picture. I don't even know what to think or who is in the wrong. But your husband's level of anger over extremely trivial issues, your cringing and self-deprecating behavior, it's really unhealthy. I know I'm just a stranger looking at you through a very small window, but nothing about this relationship seems healthy or good. I'd really encourage both of you to get help. For something like that, he should have filed some sort of complaint. If you want to stay, stay. If you end up getting that raise, stay. If you do decide to seriously look elsewhere, don't leave without some sort of exit plan, and encourage him to actively find something elsewhere and/or get unemployment in the meantime. He gets pissed and says he quits, walks out, and they fire him. Your employers are buffoons. Compromise with your husband. Tell him that you'll phone it in and do no work to spite them. Get fired and collect unemployment too. Start applying to new jobs while you're winding down at this one. Your husband gets unemployment, and could probably toss a wrongful termination at them by claiming that they fired him for getting injured. My, 31 male, GF, 27 female, hasn't been in the right state of mind since finding out we are having a boy. So a little background. Sorry for bad grammar. I take all the responsibility. Don't get me wrong to make it sound like I am blaming her, but she wanted to have kids sooner than I expected. I wasn't ready, but the constant pressure of her saying, "We got this," or sending me countless articles that women having trouble having kids at an older age. And last I have two sisters who recently had their kids, so their kids having another cousin would be a blessing. Like I said, I don't feel prepared, so I went with it, and behold. Only one try and my girlfriend is pregnant. I am not going to lie, I was stressed and felt unprepared. I didn't know it would happen so quickly, as I didn't think it was that easy. I mean, I definitely had to know it's that easy. So I am taking it all in, ready or not, I'm pulling myself together to be a father and will take full responsibility. Fast forward to now, we are 5 months in and we just had a gender reveal. We are having a boy. Over time, my stress has turned into complete joy. I gotten a new job which I feel more financially comfortable. I plan to share knowledge to my child that my parents never taught me, and I am just all over ready to be a parent. However, my girlfriend kept to herself the whole entire day that she couldn't be any more disappointed that she wanted a girl. I thought ATM that it was just her preference. But it turned out that she took it so bad that she told me she looked up if it's too late to abort and even giving him away for adoption. I was speechless. She pressured me this whole time to have kids, and now she is thinking twice just because it's a boy. She kept saying she doesn't think she will love him as much, she looked up male clothes and didn't think it's as cute, and just all over doesn't think she will have a great bond with him. I would say I am mad, but it really is pointless to be. I know my girlfriend has a problem and really want her to seek therapy. She may or not be looking it up, but I just want to know what I can do now. She was crying all last night saying she knows this sound bad. She's disappointing me and knows it, and she is expressing that she doesn't want any more kids right after. I plan to talk to her more about this. I am certain I need therapy too. Get her therapy, this isn't healthy. If she is completely healthy, then she was looking at kids as dolls and not actual humans. Okay, gender disappointment is a real thing. A lot of people get that and eventually get over it. I also wanted a girl, got a boy, and now I can't imagine life any other way. Looking into abortion is extreme though. That feels a lot like where I also was at while deep in the middle of postpartum depression. I had a really hard time the first few months. I wanted to adopt him out too, but I was treated and my husband supported me completely and we got through it. 5 years on, I love that boy more than life itself. The depression can sometimes hit in prepartum as well, so I would highly suggest she be seen by a doctor. You're right that hormones can fuck you right up. These things can happen, but they're manageable with the right treatment. Wow. She didn't want a child, she wanted a doll. Personally, I would be letting her know how disappointed I am in her as a person. Do you think you can stay with someone who genuinely wanted to have an abortion because the baby wasn't the gender they prefer? You can be a great dad without being with the child's mother. One thing is clear, you shouldn't have any more children with this person whatever happens. Honestly? I would just offer to take your son, sole custody. If she wants to give him up for adoption anyway, I don't think she'll fight you on it. Don't let him grow up with a mother who resents him. That said, pregnancy hormones are a bitch, and she might just be lost in the throes of depression. I would give her a chance to turn it around once she actually has the baby. But if nothing changes, your son has to be your priority. Even before the hormone rush, she was okay with pressuring you into a child you weren't ready for, with little regard for what that would mean for you or the child. She sounds incredibly immature, more like a 12-year-old begging for a pony than someone ready to raise a child. I agree that SGE needs therapy, and you need to prepare yourself in case you end up doing this alone. I suggest researching the term, gender disappointment, and how it affects those pregnant. Then get together with professionals, medical or otherwise, on how to tackle these feelings together. So she essentially bullied you into getting pregnant knowing you weren't ready because according to her, you got this odd reason to have a baby, but okay, and now that it's not the fantasy she had in her mind, she wants to get rid of the baby? Even if she delivers the boy, you need to seriously reconsider the relationship and watch her closely as a parent. She's unfit before the baby comes. She thinks babies are things to be played with, and after this I can guarantee you that she'll be pressuring you to try again for a girl this time. She's one of those lunatics. I'd say this is almost certainly a hormonal problem. In fact, she's probably experiencing something similar to you when you first found out. A shock that the fantasy, expectation is different than you thought it would be, and subsequently trying to cope with a real world, stakes-involved reality that's not undaunting for the most well-adjusted people. Throw an unbelievable amount of hormones on there and you get what your girlfriend is dealing with. I think the root here is a reality check, not the gender. Therapy for you both to navigate this and a check-in with a doctor are both needed. This is a sour situation right now, but I think it's one that you can get through, and that your girlfriend will feel much differently looking back on. Friend, F18, of mine, M20, introduced me to a girl, F19, and then screwed everything up. Using a throwaway cause you never know. So a close friend of mine, let's call her S, introduced me to this girl, L. Because she thought we would make a great couple, and also because I did the same every time she liked some friend of mine. Last Saturday me and my friends, including S, went to L's town to hang out with her since every single one of my friends loves her to death. She has a great personality, she's funny as hell and so on. It went crazy good, or at least that's what I thought. We held our hands the whole night, she kept biting my shoulders for some reason. I took it as a good sign, and there's been a couple times when we've been close enough to kiss. Didn't make the move cause hey, insecurity. All good until S comes to us like a fucking juggernaut, takes L away and tells me, she doesn't give a fuck about you. You ain't got a chance, with the angriest voice. She then grabbed L's hand and she told her, follow me, there's this hot guy the first one to introduce you to, he's a friend of mine. That's the last time I saw L. Now me and this guy are good friends and he'd just seen me with L, so luckily I knew he wouldn't even look at her. Yesterday I finally had the chance to confront S. I asked her what was the matter with me and L, and all she told me was, well, since she doesn't give a fuck about you, and other guy is WAAAAY hotter. I figured I might as well introduce them. Now I'm not that good with girls, but I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have acted like she did if she wasn't interested at all. So what do you guys think I should do? I'm thinking about sending a big fuck you letter to S and to stop whatever friendship I have with her. She's not a friend. Friends don't speak that way and do that sort of thing. S probably has a thing for you, and the moment she realized L may actually be into you, she sabotaged it. The fact that S likes you doesn't excuse her actions at all. She's not a good friend as she totally disrespected you. I would recommend cutting her off. And don't reach out to L either. Keep your dignity and self-respect. Talk with L neutrally to see her perspective on it, just so you can check your radar. It sounds like S might want to be more than friends and was mad, jealous that you and L were hitting it off. She needs to grow up though. That's no way to treat friend. S is trash and not a friend, she's a parasite. Gracefully remove her from your life, and give her zero ammo against you. Sadly, forget L as well. If she was genuinely interested and even a half-decent person, she'd have stayed with you, not run off to be served up like lunch meat to another guy. Birds of a feather flock together, neither of them are trustworthy. It's appalling how casually this girl S was willing to casually crush your ego, a friend, and just appalling that L was willing to be passed around like a party favor. They're both gross. Rejoice that they showed their true colors before you got involved or attached, and that they allowed you to remove them from your life. They did you a favor. Have you tried talking to L? I see two likely options. 1. S likes having you around as her servant. You and L becoming a thing would take you away from being a servant to S2. S actually likes you, and doesn't want you and L becoming a thing. And #X200B. I'd say the first one is more likely given the way she talked about you. Did you ask the friend that was at the party, the guy L got introduced to afterwards, what he thinks? Weird peoples. She likes you, bro.